Hello everyone, today we will talk about the transit of Saturn. Transiting Saturn is in quincunx with the natal Sun. How transiting Saturn will behave in quincunx with the natal Sun depends on the position of the natal Sun. This transit can be more prominent in your life if you already have planets in aspect with your natal Sun. But the basics are as follows. During the transit of Saturn in quincunx to the natal Sun, feelings of limitation and frustration will appear due to the lack of adjustment between external obligations and personal identity. In order to avoid limitations and frustration, you need to make changes and adjustments in your life in a way that will reduce, or limit, the public expression of personal identity. Individuals will either leave something important behind or end an important phase in their lives. Although this transit marks a period of tension, adjustment, and potential challenges, Saturn and the Sun know how to cooperate and can cooperate. Therefore, with a little will and consideration of the complete situation, they will understand for themselves where to stop and where to close the story. But first, you have a few hoops to jump through and then you will get the chance to shine, and show the world your talents and gifts. This will certainly require some adjustments, for some it will be a painful experience, for others a joyful one. But if the experience is painful, remember that this process of letting go makes room for something new and exciting. The key to navigating this transit is to remain flexible, adaptable, and open to the necessary adjustments. The transit itself calls for a willingness to face reality, take responsibility for your actions, and make the necessary changes to align your personal identity with the demands and responsibilities of your life. Sports activities, creativity, and relationships with children will also be affected by the restriction. In creativity, individuals will find that their usual sources of inspiration have dried up, leading to frustration. However, this is Saturn's way of working to encourage you to dig deeper and find a more authentic way of expressing yourself. Therefore, we can say that this is an excellent time for limited and disciplined creative work. For artists, writers, and performers, this is a period of refinement and closure of existing skills. If you do sports as a hobby, you will notice that during the transit you have less and less time for your hobbies and therefore for your sports recreational activities. Relationships with children for parents will highlight additional responsibilities towards children, through challenges that require them to become their guide and mentor. For those who want to become parents at this time or are on the way to becoming one, Saturn will delay and complicate things here, but also provide all the conditions for you to be ready for responsibility. As we have already mentioned, this in conjunction is quite demanding and full of uncertainty. With it you will feel the need to make adjustments or compromises in order to find a balance between your personal identity and the responsibilities you have, between your sense of self and your responsibilities or limitations. Individuals who do not know how to adapt will experience a conflict between their personal goals, desires, and demands, and will end up being limited by the conditions set by external circumstances or authorities. For those born under the sign of Libra, this will certainly be a very difficult period. The pressures or limitations placed on you by your family, especially a father figure or a traditional male role model, will bring a sense of dissatisfaction or a sense that something is wrong, which leads you to question and change various areas of your life. This will feel like an internal tug of war as you go through challenges that require patience and perseverance. Managing this transit involves finding ways to reconcile these conflicting energies, reassessing priorities, and making the necessary compromises without losing sight of what is truly important. Embracing flexibility while maintaining integrity will in some cases ease this transitional phase, which ultimately leads to greater resilience and maturity in character development itself. Some limitations are the result of self-doubt or petty things, others are a reflection of practical things that you need to consider before moving forward. You learn to distinguish between realistic and unnecessary limitations. You also learn how to thrive as an individual despite limiting factors. In conclusion, the effects of Saturn transiting in quincunx to your natal sun will depend on the house position of your sun in your birth chart. However, it is crucial that you make changes and adjustments to your life in a way that will reduce or shut down certain forms of expression and introduce discipline, structure, and commitment.